Hello everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my research. I look forward to your valuable feedback and suggestions. My research title is a twin case study on effects of Wordless vs. text-based picture books on narrative competence in dependent reading. This research has 5 parts: introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, contribution, and limitation. The first introduction, this study aims to compare the effect of Wordless and text-based picture books on children's narrative competence in a kindergarten environment, focusing on different in their impact on narrative competence microstructure. By conducting this comprehension, the study seeks to provide educators with evidence for select appropriate picture books and contribute to existing research on picture books education. The next is literature review. Picture books had widely recognized as highly suitable for early literacy development as a unique type of picture books. Wordless picture books tell stories through images without any text. These books encourage children to calculate their own interpretations of the stories, thereby expanding their vocabulary and narrative competence, which in turn supports language development. Research has found that wordless picture books can enhance children's oral language skills, vocabulary comprehension, book handling abilities, and visual literacy. Well, wordless picture books can support children's language development, but whether they offered a greater advance of traditional picture books remains a topic question, especially in the context of independent reading in kindergarten. So, in this research, we have the research objective with that to explore the differences between wordless and text-based picture books in enhancing children's narrative competence in a kindergarten setting. And by comparing these two types of picture books, the study will analyze how they influence children's narrative skills with a particular focus on the narrative microstructure. This research methodology. First, the participants in this study are a pair of twin sisters. Nan is older sister and Bei is younger sister. They are both 5 years and 9 months old at the start of the experiment, and the data collection and analysis have 2 parts. The first is baseline assessment phase, and the second is the experimental intervention phase. In the scoring, the phase interpretability were calculated. The final consistent results are as follows. The first observation consistency was 85%, transcription consistency was 93%, and scoring consistent was 93% too. The results. The first is analysis of narrative competence stages. This study conducted 3 observations of children's reading behaviors. Each lasted 15 minutes. The focus of observations was on the characteristics of children's verbal behavior during the process of reading picture books. From the children's narrative, it's evident that these theories had found complete narrative structures in their mind. The stage highlights the importance of social interactions in language development. During this stage highlights the importance of social interaction and storytelling in language development. During this phase, children contribute and express stories through spoken language, demonstrating a translation from a simple image labeling and commenting to more complex narrative structures. The second step is experimental results and discussion. Before the experiment, a pretest on the microstructure of narrative competence was conducted on the twin children. Although differences were observed across the different dimensions, the experiment group 1 and the control groups showed that the similar overall levels. Both groups had the score of 17, indicating that the similar overall performance. After 6-week intervention, the results showed that wordless picture books, the experiment group of children, showed significant improvement in microstructure of their narrative ability under independent reading conditions, while the control group showed a little change. The experimental group performs significantly better than the control group in several dimensions, such as characters, attempts, outcomes, and reactions, with the most notable improvement observation in the reactions dimensions. This suggests that the wordless picture books can effectively promote children's in-depth descriptions of children's emotions and behaviors during the narrative process, while significantly enhancing the completeness and logic of the narrative. Overall, wordless picture books can an effective educational tool significantly improve the narrative abilities of the poor school children, particularly in terms of intelligence of narrative structure, by providing open-ending and imaginative narrative contexts. Wordless picture books greatly prompt the children's development in language expressions and emotional communications. The results of these studies provide important theoretical foundations and particularly guidance for early childhood education and offer new ideas and methods for encourage children's narrative competence. In addition, these studies through validity the excellent effect of wordless picture books in enhancing children's narrative competence. The fifth is limitation. This research have two limitations. The first is the small sample size, and the second, this research should include participants from diverse backgrounds. Thank you for your attention.